Can I retire at 55 with $1 million saved for retirement? That's what we're going to look at today on the Your Financial EKG YouTube channel. I want to go through a scenario, not just a retirement income plan where we're going to look at claiming Social Security and taxes and inflation, but I also want to go through the investment strategy for a client to show you how you need to mirror and merge not only your retirement income plan, but your investments together. So let's go through all of that today for Jack and Cindy. You ready to go? Let's do it. All right, so here we go. We've got Jack and Cindy. Now, Jack's in management, but he wants to retire. He wants to retire at 55, so right now. So we're going to retire him in the software. Now, he has the ability to continue to work. He's not been laid off. He's not, trying to change jobs. He can retire from this job or he can continue to work. If he continues to work, he'll make $110,000 per year. Now, Cindy's a homemaker. She stays home. She's always been a homemaker. So her retirement savings is very minimal and her Social Security benefits are very minimal as well. Now, she has enough credits to qualify for Social Security, but she's not going to get very much bang for her buck because she didn't work the majority of her life. She raised the kids, homeschooled, things like that. Okay? Now, Jack and Cindy, from a Social Security standpoint, at 67, Jack's primary benefit will be $3,000 per month. Cindy, we're going to look at a spousal benefit for her at 67 of $1,500 a month. Now, as a spousal benefit, Cindy is entitled to half of Jack's Social Security benefit. So when Jack claims Social Security at 67, he's going to get $3,000 a month in Social Security benefit at his full retirement age. Cindy, when she turns 67, can get up to half of Jack's Social Security benefit. So she's going to claim at 67 and get $1,500. So that's $4,500 in Social Security benefit because Jack's getting $3,000 as his primary benefit, and Cindy's getting a spousal benefit of $1,500 a month. Now, Jack's going to claim Social Security at 67. That's 100% of his full retirement benefit. If he decides to claim Social Security at 62, he's only going to get 70% of his full retirement benefit. He was born after the year 1960. So if he claims at 62, he'll get 70% of his full retirement benefit. If he claims at 67, like we discussed, he'll get 100% of his full retirement benefit. And if he waits till 70, if he's an overachiever, a broccoli eater, he'll get 124% of his full retirement benefit. Now, keep in mind, claiming Social Security is an individual strategy. I can't tell you when to claim Social Security. I can show you data. I can show you how Jack and Cindy are going to do it, but it comes down to your personal expenses, your investments, your retirement timeline. Retiring at 55, Jack may decide to claim Social Security early at 62 to give his investments some time to make up the retirement income that he's been distributing from his retirement investing accounts. Or, depending on market growth, he may wait till 67. Again, we have a spousal benefit situation. So if we can get to 67, it's going to give Cindy more bang for her buck on Social Security. And if we were to lose a spouse, we're going to lose a Social Security. It's going to be the lesser of the two. So if we can maximize Jack's, that's going to help Cindy if he passes away first, which odds are because he's older and he's male, he'll go first. So you see how Social Security is not just a do it this way and be done with it. It's individualized per person. And that's why we do a financial EKG to find out when is the best time for you to claim Social Security benefits. So we're going to look at Jack at 67 and Cindy at 67. Okay. Now, from an asset standpoint, their assets are super easy. They've got a bank account with $25,000. They have an account with Edward Jones. They have a 1.25% fee that their advisor's charging them right at $1 million. It fluctuates above and below $1 million with market returns. And then Jack has a current 401k at his job of $30,000. Now, keep in mind, if Jack wants to retire at 55, he can use the rule of 55. The rule of 55 says if you retire In the year you turn 55 or you're terminated or you quit your job, you can use your current 401k for retirement income without a 10% penalty. Now, you still pay taxes on your distributions. Your 401k plan admin will determine when you can get retirement income and how often. So maybe they only let you take it out quarterly, monthly, or maybe once a year. So you've got to check into that. But for Jack, if we're going to use the rule of 55, we've got to be a little creative, right? He's got $30,000 in his current 401k. That's not going to be enough to bridge Jack and Cindy from 55 to 59 and a half. I can just tell you right now without going to the expenses just yet. So what we would need to do is do a reverse rollover. Now, a rollover from your 401k to an IRA is when you leave your job and you take your money out of your 401k and you put it into your IRA or your Roth IRA, depending on how your 401k or 403b is set up. That's called a rollover. A reverse rollover is taking money out of your IRA, your Roth IRA, and putting that into your current 401k. And for Jack, we might want to look at this if we're going to do the rule of 55. Because we need to strategize how much money needs to go from the IRA to the current 401k before he retires, because you can't do it after you retire, before he retires, so that we can use that money for retirement income. Now, we have two expenses that we're going to project out. We basically have our baseline expenses and we have our mortgage. So baseline expenses are going to be your utilities, your streaming bill, your taxes and insurances, things that aren't ever going to go away. Your food bill, that's your baseline. Mortgage, right? They have an $1,100 mortgage. It's going to end in January of 2030. I want you to notice something. On their baseline expenses, we have inflation of 3.27%, right? So your utility bill goes up every year. I don't know about, like, I live in Florida. My utility bill has doubled in 2 years. I don't think that's 3.27%, but it's going up. The raspberries at Costco were like $5. Now they're $8. That's inflation. That Starbucks drink you like, it might have only gone up 25 or 50 cents. But that's inflation. And so we've got to calculate that in. And so we're doing that on our baseline. But on the mortgage, there's no expenses or no inflation. It's a 30-year mortgage. It's not going to change. It's $1,100 every month, no matter what. Now, a different portion of that mortgage payment goes to principal and interest as the amortization schedule goes on. But it's not going to change inflation-wise. And so for Jack and Cindy, their average inflation rate is 2.63%. It's not 3%, it's 2.63. Because if we took this and we put it in Excel and we put 3% on this, this would kill them because we're not projecting an accurate inflation rate. So you've got to project an accurate inflation rate, especially for Jack retiring at 55. It's really important to understand, hey, if I'm going to be in retirement 30, 40 years, what's my inflation going to look like? Now, from a tax standpoint, we're going to look at the year 2024 because that would be the first year they're retired. They are in the state of Louisiana, so there's a state tax on there. But from a tax standpoint, their projected federal rate's 5.75%. That's the effective rate, so that's after deductions and credits and all that good stuff. So taxes are not a huge deal at this point. You can see they're basically taking their income from the IRA, but we're going to have to assume that if he's going to retire at 55, we're going to reverse roll over that to the 401k to eliminate the 10% penalty. And so we're going to probably have a little less taxes on this, but from a tax standpoint, we feel pretty comfortable where we're at. Now, here's where the rubber meets the road. When I do retirement planning, I call it the 316 principle within a Your Financial EKG. A 316 principle says this: you want 3 forms of income, Social Security, some kind of guaranteed cornerstone income with Social Security, and some variable income. And you need 6 areas in one financial plan that cover all of it. So the 6 areas are income, assets, expenses, cash flows, taxes, and then pre-retirement and retirement. We want to look at retirement now. This is where the rubber meets the road. So let's go to retirement real quick. So here we are. We're 55 and 52 years old. Now, remember, there's no pension, no Social Security income at 55, no cash flows coming in, and all of our expenses have to be paid out of our retirement investing accounts. So in the year 2024, let's go through a full year here. We need $5,636 to start at first. Now you can notice January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, December. What is the pattern? What do you notice? The value's going up. That's inflation, right? We're not looking at inflation on an annualized basis. We're going to look at inflation on a monthly basis, because I shopped at Costco yesterday and the raspberries were $8. I shopped at Costco a month ago and they were like $7.50. So inflation's monthly, right? Businesses change their prices on a monthly basis. Now, your insurance may only change once a year, but your other bills change monthly, and we need to project that out in the EKG. So you can see that, how that's happening. So this all has to come out of their portfolio, which is about $1,055,000 at the start. And you can see as the years go on, their portfolio is dropping pretty precipitously, a lot faster than we like. So at 60, we've gone from $1,055,000 to $865,000. At 65, we've got $643,000. And at 67, when Jack's Social Security kicks in, we're at $564,000. We've gone down $500,000. And then at 67 for Cindy, when her Social Security kicks in, we're down to $491,000. And then we're out of money at 84 and 81. So the question becomes, what can we do? Because we want solutions, right? We want to know, do we need to work longer? Maybe we take Social Security earlier. How do we adjust our investments? What do we need to do? Now we got a couple scenarios. He doesn't mind his job. He's just getting tired of doing it. And I said, well, you could retire from that job and you could work part-time. You know, you're really handy. Maybe you could do some handiwork. Maybe you could do something like that if you wanted to, if you could pull in some extra income. Or we can try to get you to 59 and a half so we don't have to do the reverse rollovers, things like that. So that's really what the EKG does. The EKG is saying, hey, can I retire? And then how do we take the data from the EKG and align it with our retirement plan, okay? Well, I hope this video has helped you. If you'd like to get together with me, all the information is in the description below. Thank you so much for hanging on for this entire video. God bless. Bye-bye.